It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, everybody. It's your pal, zombie collector Jason, sometimes extraordinaire, coming to you live and in color, having a little chitty chat. It's finally, after what feels like, I don't know, an extra like couple weeks of winter time. Even though we're now in May here in Indiana, it's starting to look nice out here. As you can see, it's clear skies are on the horizon. It's the sun's out, which means guns out. And what is this guy doing? I don't know. So I'm going around the semi who's like just stopping in the middle of the road. But it was a beautiful day today. I just thought it just inspired me to go and do a little Jason Handy video because, why not put a little salt in everybody's drink this morning? Be salty. No, actually, I don't think it'll be salty today. I had a hot heavy one last week. This week, when it's like maybe to share like a personal story with. I don't want to be too, on the nose because I'd seriously doubt the people I want to talk about will ever hear anything like this. But it's just like in general, like I thought it might be a good conversation, and maybe other people could discuss their own personal, stories or situations come up in their lives. But so sometimes people disappoint you. So, and you want to see what's best for people, and you hope for people making good decisions, right? Positive decisions that are going to make them in the long run happier, but then they choose poor decisions because of lack of willpower, lack of commitment, of character. And sometimes it's frustrating being on the outside looking in on those situations. And when people are being manipulated by others, it's very disappointing when you're trying to help them avoid the manipulation and they're being manipulated anyways. And you see that with young people a lot of times, but as you get older, it's kind of surprising because you've lived long enough and you've been around the block, so to speak, to know the character of other people and to know when you're being manipulated, or you would think you would know when you're being manipulated by others and you still choose to be manipulated. It is very difficult to witness that. And I know that I am a very jaded person based off of my life experience, my situations I've been put in. So maybe I'm overtly sensitive to being like on guard and protected, and I'm aware of that. But I feel like it serves me well over the years because, unfortunately, you want to be able to believe the best in people. I think that's our natural default, is to trust people and to trust that people have their best interest at heart. But once you see a pattern of untrustworthiness or deceit or manipulation, you would think a smart person would back away from the ticking time bomb. And, it's very frustrating when you see friends or family members going through that and you're trying to be supportive, you're trying to be encouraging, but at some point you have to just be like, you know what, if you're going to make dumb choices, then maybe their other person's not the problem, maybe you're the problem. And that's a hard conversation to either have, or that might be a hard realization to come to, because at that point they don't want your input, they don't want your help, they just want you to be supportive. And it's hard to be supportive when you see a person being taken advantage of or being manipulated. It like boggles the mind, especially when you think it's a person who's obviously an intelligent person. And and then you have to be in a situation where you think, how far do I go, or how truthful do I want to be, or how hard do I want to push that will not jeopardize my friendship or my if it's a family member, my relationship with my family member, without them like completely being alienated from me or them being pissed off permanently, or the case may be. I don't know if other people have dealt with that, but it's very frustrating when you see a friend or family member go through stuff and you know that they are good people, but they're just easily manipulated by others. And like I said, when it's your kids maybe, or when you're young, maybe you can get away with being a little bit more understanding because you still haven't fully, come into your own. Sometimes you're still trying to figure it out, which is totally understandable. That's a part of the human experience. But when you're getting into your 40s, I mean, at that point, you lived a good chunk of lifetime, and you're still being manipulated. Then you think, are you wanting to be manipulated? You obviously know at this point, you're being manipulated, you're being like taken advantage of. So that's telling me either you're okay with it or that you are just, I don't know what's the word, like you're oblivious to it. But I don't think that would be the case in most situations. Like, if a person's behavior has shown you anything and it's like a pattern, then at that point you realized this person is not changing that. So you need to get away from the situation and you choose to keep going back to it. So I don't know what that is. I used to think that was mostly, I guess, a situation where relationships when you're younger, like you feel like you have to have a relationship and that you'll tolerate, no matter if it's a man or a woman or whatever, that you tolerate some people's ridiculousness or BS. But as you get older, you start becoming like, you know what, I don't actually need this person in my life if they're just going to be a suck to me. Like, they just drain me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever. So, it's just frustrating. So, I don't really have an answer. I don't really have any specifics, but it's just something I'm experiencing recently with a buddy of mine. And I just it's just so frustrating because, you want to be supportive, of course. He's a great guy and I enjoy being his buddy. We do a lot of things together. We have fun together. But then, you see being manipulated by others and you're just like, at what point do you just get like frustrated to the point like I don't even want to talk to him about the specific situation? I'm trying to be a little bit vague because I don't just by some 1 in a million chance he stumbles upon this video or something or whatever. I don't want to be like so specific, but it just you want to be supportive as a friend, of course, or as a family member in some cases. But at the same time, it's like, I'm at the point now, I was like, I don't even want you to bring this person up. I don't want to hear about this individual. I don't want nothing to do with it. If you're going to talk to me about this individual, then just stop talking to me about it because I don't have any interest in hearing about it because I don't want to participate in the ridiculousness that you're going through because it's just a pattern. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And, if you want to be put in that situation, that's fine. But I don't even want to hear about it. It's not even me who has to deal with it. It's like, I'm not in the situation. I am, by far removed from it. But by you talking about it, like you need somebody to talk to. And that's what it boils down to is like when you have situations that you don't want to, you need to vent to somebody else because the situation you keep going to is ridiculous and you keep being manipulated, but you keep going back to it. Then you want to talk to somebody about how you're feeling because of the manipulation or because of the ridiculousness of the relationship. And then it's like now I'm like the default person that gets spoke to about these things. It's like I don't want to hear about it. I told you to go ahead and hashtag walk away months ago, months. Sometimes in this case, almost like a year ago. So it's like the struggle of trying to be a good friend and like wanting to have a like a listening ear. And be empathetic, I guess, to the situation, or just being like, dude, I don't want to hear about it. Like it's like it has. My name is Paul. That's between y'all. I don't want to hear about it. I have zero interest in being a part of this situation with you and this person. I just don't want to be a part of the equation. I want to be removed. You don't want to listen to my advice initially when I said this is time to move on. You had a good run. It ain't what it's cracked up to be. The writing's on the wall. The person has a pattern of untrustworthiness or issues that they're bringing to the table that somehow you get wrapped up in, and now you having to deal with their insecurities and their shortcomings and their failures, and now you're paying the price of it, and now I'm having to pay the price by listening to it when you could have just like heeded my words and be like, all right, well, it sounds like you need to work on yourself, and there's some things you need to get through before we can get into this relationship again, and it's not going to work at the time. And that's a conversation that's tough, I know, but I've had that conversation with multiple ladies over the years. I'm like, I'm not here to fix you. I'm not here to be the person that you cannot be. You can't put your past scars that you've dealt with in past relationships on me, because that wasn't me, and I am very aware that I can't do that to other people, right? I can't do that to other females because my past relationships, that's not fair to that individual or individuals, because that's giving them a handicap from the get-go, right? And that's not their fault. My past is my past, and I try to do my darndest to keep that off the table, because that person shouldn't suffer for what other people have done to me in the past. And that's in any relationship, any friendship and relationship, anything. You can't put other people's sins, so to speak, on the individual you're now with, and then hold them to those standards because it's not something they've dealt with before. So it's just frustrating, and like I said, I don't have any answers. But it's when you're there and you want to be a supportive friend, you want to be there, you want to be an encouragement, you want to be a person that you can count on to talk and to hash things out. Oh geez. Oh dang, these freaking like potholes or whatever in the roads or whatnot. It's like freaking me out, yo. You want to be but you want to be a supportive friend, but then you just keep going back to the same BS over and over again. It's hard to want to be put in that situation anymore, because you just see the outcome, it's going to be the same every time. And it's just, I don't know. It's just very frustrating. It's very frustrating because you just want to just grab the person and then like slap them in the head and be like, dude, get a hold of yourself. Like, what are you doing? And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be so trivial and so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, so, the least common denominator that one thing can factor in to making a decision. Sometimes it's comfort. Sometimes it's not having to deal with the pain of ripping off the Band-Aid just quickly. Sometimes it's the thing of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the pros of a relationship that you're in, that you think, well, it's worth. To me, that would be never worth anything. But some, especially guys, unfortunately can't control themselves, and they can't get out of their own way. And so the benefits of having a relationship outweigh the ridiculousness of dealing with the problems that come with it, because you are, dealing with relationship issues, which I'm trying to be like, kind of just ambiguous about, but I think we all know what we're talking about. When you have some guys that just can't get out of their own way, when it's just like, they're thinking with the wrong head, let's just say. And that's the craziest thing. It's like, I just can't. I mean, like I said, when you're a young man, maybe that's something that it's hard to separate, but you would think as you get older, like, you should obviously know, like, that should not be a determining factor in anything. So it's just sometimes mind-boggling when you like deal with an individual where that might be a overriding reason for a lot of it. I'm just like, really, dude, really? But yeah, like I said, it's just very frustrating because you want to be there, you want to be supportive, you want to be encouraged, and you want to, be able to, hear what they're going through. But after you so many times of the same seesawing back and forth, and the outcome is always the same, that you're now having to coddle this person's psyche and being so fragile because they have their own demons and their own problems from their past relationships that they're taking out on your buddy. because they're insecure about everything in their life, and so it's just a complete nightmare. And then your buddy, has to go through it, and you like see it, and you're just like, dude, just like, rip the band-aid off. It's gonna suck for a while, but then you both will be better for it. And if maybe things work themselves out in the future, you can come back to it and see where things are. But it's obviously not a healthy relationship if you're constantly under, scrutiny for everything you say or do because of what somebody else's past sins are. Now that you have to live, you have to do it yourself. You have to explain away who you are and what you are, even though it's nothing you've done to this individual. You're having to pay penance for that, and that's just ridiculous. But it is what it is. I mean, like I said, just thought I'd share this. I don't know, as I'm sure anybody who's listening right now knows, like, this was no real rhyme or reason. I just thought there'd be something to share, trying to share my personal current situation I'm going through, trying to figure out what's the best course of action. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So guys, I'm looking forward to hearing anybody's thoughts about it. Am I wrong? Am I right? Where can I be a good friend? Where maybe should I just pull the zip cord and be done? So I would appreciate any information there. So until next time, guys, thank you for listening, and peace.